You're not a true fan of Coach Prime. No matter how much you scream, I love Coach Prime. You're not a true fan of Coach Prime. You're a true fan of yourself. You're playing for wins and losses. Don't confuse wins and losses with substance. That is not it.
Bandwagon Buffs, man. Hell of a game. 2 went for 500. BWB.
Bandwagon Buffs.
That's right. Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Welcome to the Liberian Perspective. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I gotta go ahead and get into this video real quick, so that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. Yo, right now, I'm like Travis Hunter. Hey, yo, coach, put me in. I ain't gonna take no for an answer. My bad is like, yeah. No, you're way too valuable. We need you out there. Take your time and get well. I'm so ready to spaz on some people. I had to force myself up to come and make this video today. I just can't take it anymore to be bedridden and just on the phone and not be able to spaz and give my wisdom in this time of what I would call idiocity. You see the title of the video. It's not Coach Prime's fault. It's your fault. Yours and mine. The lovers and the haters. It was all of ours fault. I got to speak on what I think is going on after Colorado took its first hit, because people were waiting for it. We saw it coming for months. For weeks, we talked about this hit coming. This hit was coming, all right? It's like a boxer who knows that his opponent has that one good swing, and you do a good job on preparing to not get hit by that punch. But for a lot of us, we didn't know how it was going to come. If you were one of those people who felt some kind of way about the Oregon loss, if you felt that excitement because you just couldn't wait for them to lose, and then if you were a supporter, let's just say a casual supporter, and you just felt that sting of disappointment in your belly from the Oregon blowout, that feeling that you felt was not Coach Prime's fault. That was your fault. And if you give me a few minutes, I'm going to explain why it was your fault in this video. So let's go. There's a lot of casual fans for the Colorado Buffaloes. Some have accepted the name Bandwagon Buff. Some don't care that they are bandwagons. They're here for the ride. Some are just like, hey, I like Coach Prime and I'm supporting him. And then there's a lot of people who have eyes on Colorado right now just for the mere fact that Coach Prime is a change agent, is bombastic, he's boisterous, he's confident, and he is saying all of these things that they don't like. He's loud and he's proud. He is saying so many things that rubs them the wrong way. Everybody have their reasons to either like and support Coach Prime or to just straight out hate this guy and cannot wait to see him fall. And boy, the Oregon loss was their ticket to vindication. This was it for them. This is their ticket to say, oh my gosh, he ain't all that. But guess what? You created that. Whatever that feeling is that you have, whether you are a supporter or a non-supporter, that feeling was created by yourself. Coach Prime took on the Colorado Buffaloes team to revamp them. He took on this team to make a change. He had a very short window to make that change. First, let me talk to the supporters, and then I'll talk to the detractors. We look at Coach Prime as a leader. We look at Coach Prime, and a lot of us see somebody who we aspire to be. A lot of us see Coach Prime as somebody who can help our culture to move forward. There's something you have to understand about the black culture. Coach Prime has a lot of different fans. You have others, but the majority of us, we're black, all right? In case you haven't realized, okay? The majority of Coach Prime's fan base are black folks. Coach Prime obviously has a lot of fans. He has a lot of people following him that are not black. But for those of us who are black, we are in a community where we take a lot of hits. I want to explain this perspective. Don't take this the wrong way, but I have to explain it so that you can understand where some of our grief may be coming from. Coach Prime represents the black community in a way maybe the white community doesn't understand. In our community, we don't get a lot of these type of leaders. We don't. We don't get these opportunities often. So when we get these opportunities, we hold on to it dearly. Somebody that represents us in excellence, somebody that represents us at the highest level of something, it makes us feel important. So for us, we look at it a little differently. Some of y'all might look at Coach Prime and just say, oh, I love Coach Prime. I've been following Coach Prime. Color doesn't matter. And I've been following Coach Prime since I was a young pup. And I love what he does and how he played the game. And now he's a good person and he's doing X, Y, and Z. There's a little different lens when it comes to the black followers of Coach Prime. People may not agree to what I'm saying, and some people may not look at it the way that I'm looking at it. But this is a perspective that I want to provide, and I want people to please listen to what I'm trying to say. The black community takes a lot of hits, a lot of hate. We take hits from everywhere. When we move to a neighborhood, the burden of proof is always on us. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, we got people who will stalk us and say, hey, do you live around here? If we go outside to fish, they're going to say, hey, do you live around here? We have to show ID wherever we're going. Everybody else, whether you're Asian, white, or other, you just kind of get to just walk around and just do what you want to do. But for us, we have to always be on guard. We go to a store, they follow us. No matter where we go, the burden of proof is always on black folk. We take a lot of hit from everywhere. No matter where we live, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be in the United States. Because of the color of our skin, white people, you can skip this video if you want to, but I have to talk in this manner for people to understand what I'm saying. If you have the gut to stick around, if you're not so shallow, if you're not weak-minded and you can take these type of talks, I want you to listen to what I'm trying to tell you. But a lot of y'all don't understand the pressures that are on black folks to just be regular human beings in this world. So we take a lot of flack just for being black. So our connection to Deion Sanders, the way that we look at Deion Sanders is a little different than the way that you may look at Deion Sanders if you don't consider yourself to be black. So for us, it's personal. Whether you want to agree with it or not, whether you are a successful black person, you don't look at color doesn't exist, blah, 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 whatever your disposition is, it's up to you. This is my perspective, and if you're listening to me, I want you to hear me out. So a lot of black folk look at Coach Prime in a different way because we see him as somebody who can represent us at that higher level and almost validate who we are and give us relevance. I'm going to say that again because I need that to sink in. We look at Coach Prime as somebody who can give us relevance in popular culture and can make us feel good about being on this level without being judged for the color of our skin. So Coach Prime's stature and his position is very important for our culture. A lot is riding on him winning because it's tied to our sense of validation. But all of that pressure has nothing to do with Coach Prime. Because of that need for validation, because of that need to feel important, because we need to have people give us something that we crave, because of that, we created false expectations for Coach Prime, and winning was attached to that expectation. So God needed to humble us and bring us down for us to understand that we don't need that. Make no mistake, I'm not saying God made Coach Prime lose because he needed to teach us a lesson. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying a lot of us are tying validation, appreciation. We're tying a lot of things to Coach Prime's movement. This is the same reason why a lot of us were mad to see him leave Jackson State. And a lot of us are still mad at him for leaving Jackson State because we need validation. We need to feel like we're important too. We take so much shots. For some of us, it doesn't matter how successful we are. When we move into neighborhoods, we look uncomfortable. When we move in a certain neighborhood, let's just say it's a gated community. Let's say the houses in that neighborhood are $1 million plus. We got to put on an extra smile. We got to move a little differently because we feel like we need to fit in. We can't fully be ourselves. We moved in that neighborhood to give us validation, but there are no stores that sell the things that we eat on a daily basis that we like to eat. We feel a certain kind of way, and it's because of how the world treats us, how the world doesn't accept us, how the world tells us that we are inadequate, how the world tells us that we do not belong. No matter how successful we become, the world will always tell us that we are nothing because of the color of our skin. So this is on another level for us in our mind, and winning is attached to that. So our expectations are very high when it comes to this guy. The way we look at this is different from the way a lot of y'all look at it, especially if you're white. For you, it's just football, but for us, it is more than football. Some of you are going to run to the comments and saying we're making it about race again. But if you do not understand the words that I'm speaking, then you are not ready for anything in life. This is more than football for a lot of casual fans. If you have not noticed, a lot of fans are here that are not necessarily here for football. They're here because they heard Deion Sanders. They're here because a lot of people are talking about this. They are here because they know the name Deion Sanders and they want to cheer for him. This is more than just football for a lot of people. And I know the ignorant are going to go to the comments and start talking ignorant. I welcome you to go ahead. I will ignore every single comment. I promise you on this one. On this video, I will ignore you. You get disrespectful, I'm coming for you. Just know that. Just keep that in mind. Get disrespectful, I'm going to come for you. But people have to understand that there's a difference the way that we look at Coach Prime. And that gut feeling that you had, that feeling like you just lost something when Oregon beat us 42-6, that feeling right there, it had nothing to do with Coach Prime. It had everything to do with the fact that you felt like you just lost something. The fact that you felt like, oh my gosh, it's over. They are 3-1, and for you as a supporter of Coach Prime and this team, some of y'all felt like, oh my gosh, it's over because of the nature of the loss. That feeling was not Coach Prime's fault. That was your own false expectations that you set because so much of this was riding on your need for validation. There's a little piece of us that's tied to this in a very unholy way. A little bit of us are in this. We just need a little bit of something. Lord, let us win. Let this guy win. The fact that you said, oh my gosh, it's over. You're going to tune in to see the USC game just to see if he can bounce back. But in your mind, you're already written it off. You were here to see if he continues to win. All because of that one little thing, validation. You're not a true fan of Coach Prime. No matter how much you scream, I love Coach Prime. You're not a true fan of Coach Prime. You're a true fan of yourself. You're a true fan of the reflection of Coach Prime that is inside of yourself. You see the reflection. You see how it reflects on you. How do I know? I read a lot of your comments, and my spiritual gifting is speaking so loud and so clear about why a lot of us are talking the way that we're talking. It's just a reflection of us. How much that loss cost us has nothing to do with Coach Prime. That's why we're like, oh my gosh, it's over. Even when he's just 3-1. Oh my gosh, it's over. Even when he still got so many more games to play. Why is it over? It's not even October yet. It's September the 26th. But why was it over for you? Why is it over for you in your brain? Why is it over for you? I'm not talking to you who's saying it's not over. I'm talking to that casual fan. In your mind, you have already told yourself that it's over. Why is it over for you? Think deeply. Even if you don't think in your mind that I don't care about none of this stuff, think about it. Think real hard about it. Keep that in mind as I now talk to the haters and the detractors. For the detractors, it's something very similar. A lot of them are Deion's color. A lot of them are not. So they have their different reasons. A lot of them are detractors because of the simple fact that he's too loud. He's way too proud for them, and they just can't stand anybody being that loud and that proud. He is not like the other coaches that he has played. Deion Sanders doesn't talk poorly about anyone. He told a reporter from 60 Minutes that he rides so clean. If you check his background, you can't bring yourself to find a really good reason to why you hate this guy. He's too clean. So ask yourself, why do you really hate him? He's the guy that you're supposed to like. He is the one that speaks highly of everyone that he's playing. He's the one that stays neutral. He doesn't put out weird messages. He doesn't put out any subliminal messages about how the other team is playing for clicks, and he's not. He doesn't put out those messages about how the other coach mother raised him and how his mother raised him better than that coach. He doesn't say those things. You can't find one reason to hate this guy when it comes to substance. Dan Lanning, he's playing not for clicks, but for substance. Winning is not the only substance that is in football. Dan Lanning said that he was playing for substance and they were playing for clicks. If you're playing for substance, when football is over, what's going to be there? Substance will be there. If you get hurt and you cannot play another down in football, what is going to be left? Substance. That's what's going to be left. Substance is when somebody can speak well of you even though they don't really like you that much. Substance is when your own quarterback runs after the opposing coach just to give him a handshake because he knows the values that he carries. That's substance. You're playing for wins and losses. Don't confuse wins and losses with substance. That is not it. Substance is the young men who are going to leave this field, not get drafted, go to their regular lives and remember what they felt about their coach talking about the other guy when the other guy didn't throw any shots. A good person the other coach was. How he carries himself. That's substantive values that they're walking away with from the game. Substance has nothing to do with wins and losses. You're getting it wrong, haters. Check the substance meter because I think a lot of you are confusing what substance means with wins and losses. In life, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. The thing that gives you the staying power is what we call substance. The staying power is substance. When you find yourself to be down because everything around you has fallen apart. This is real life lesson now. When you find yourself in a bad place because you got hurt the day after you got drafted and you will never play football again, and you start thinking about all the worst things in life. And then you start thinking about the values that the coach that you were with taught you. You start thinking about all of those things that you learned from your coach. And you pick yourself up and say, you know what? Life is not over. It's just beginning. My next chapter begins now that football is over. That's what we call substance. The substance is values that these young men are going to walk away with because they have a real man in the locker room. So haters, check that record, because the thing that you feel was created by you. It's not Deion Sanders' fault. It is not Coach Prime's fault. It's because of your own false and useless expectations. You developed that in your own mind. You didn't like his bravado. You don't like the fact that he's so confident, even though you need to be as confident yourself. You need to project the same kind of confidence that he has. But for some reason, something inside of you continues to tell you, well, his is different. He doesn't need to be all out front and saying it like the way that he says it. That rubs you so wrong that you just can't stand it. Well, why does he have to say it this way? Why does he have to say it that way? Why does he have to be so loud and proud? Why does he have to stand with his chest out and pounding his chest? That's why I really hate him, because he's so loud. Why does he have to play his music that way? Why does he have to get those rappers on the sideline? Why can't he just be like the other coaches who do it so quietly, like Nick Saban? Why does he have to be so good at what he does? So you couldn't wait for him to lose so that you can feel validated in how you were feeling. Just like the supporters were looking for validation for their own reasons, you also were looking for validation for your own ill feelings about Coach Prime. He has nothing to do with that. That's all on you. That's your own validation that you were looking for. You wanted a reason to feel validated for the ways that you felt about this guy. That ain't no way anybody is this good. Ain't no way he's winning all of these games. Ain't no way that he's this good like he's saying he is. And I just can't wait till he loses for me to feel the validation that I need to feel. You brought that on to yourself. He's just moving the way that God made him. He's just moving with the same character that he had to create in order for him to make as much money that he needed to make in order to take his mom out of where he wanted to take her out of and give her anything that she wanted on this earth. He created Prime. He's really a quiet country boy who loves to fish. That's Deion Sanders I'm talking about. But Prime Time, that he had to create in order for him to get what he needed to get out of this life, and that's the character that you hate. But if you met Deion Sanders, he's the quiet, humble country boy that doesn't say much. You just hate what makes him successful. Some of y'all envy what makes him successful. Some of y'all can't stand why he's so successful. You need to create your prime time. Maybe you've tried to create your prime time and you haven't been successful making him the way that Coach Prime has perfected his prime time, and you're just envious and jealous that you can't garner the same kind of attention that he has with his alter ego to get him to where he is. A lot of you coaches haven't done that. You haven't been able to do that. You can't get into the rooms that he's getting into. You cannot get the daggone leadership of Nike to come down on the field for you. You cannot get them to come out of their offices, wherever they live in, to come give you a hug on the field, give you a tour of the daggone stadium. You can't get that to happen for your program. You cannot get an invitation to nothing important in your life. So this is what it's come down to you. It's easier to hate him than to just say, you know what, he is Prime. Let him do him. So you created that expectation in your mind that he had to win every single game in order for you to feel validation about how you felt. Whether you are a supporter or whether you are a detractor, that is your fault, not Coach Prime. All right, family, that is all the information that I have for this video. Hope you got a little something out of it. And if you did, please help this channel grow by smashing that subscribe button. But I'm going to have to leave it right there. You know who I am. I'm Harry B. And that right there was the Liberian Perspective. That's TLP Sports Club. Brah.